Hello guys, and thank you for joining me today. If this is your first time visiting, I certainly appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Please be sure to check out some of my other repair videos to see if they might be able to help you out, and maybe consider a subscription to the channel. That will be greatly appreciated. Now for those that are returning, as always, thank you for your continued support. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, as you can see from the thumbnail, I've got a new car that I'm going to be introducing to the channel today, and it's going to be my project car from this day going forward. I did a poll recently, 22 responders, 20 agreed that they would like to see this particular model on the channel. So without further ado, let's go and check it out. And of course we do have a Honda. There we go, that is the 2008 Honda Element. Has 265,000 miles on it. Comes equipped with the K24A8 engine that has about 165 horsepower. This is the 5-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive, and this is based on the CRV chassis. Now, if you don't know anything about the Elements, they did produce these cars between 2003 and 2011. They originally marketed it to young people and had commercials like showing them putting surfboards and musical equipment, things like that in it. But I think after a period of time, Honda realized that the majority of people buying this were older people that had dogs, so they kind of changed their marketing strategy over to that, which I think is kind of funny. It came originally without the quarter panels all the way around, and the front and rear bumpers not painted, so you could feel comfortable about driving it through brush without marking it up. But I guess somewhere along the line they thought it might be more appealing to have the car that was all one color. Now this car is not in very bad shape at all, considering its vintage and the amount of miles it has on it, but it does have a couple of places that I'm going to address in the near future. I would call this a 10-foot car. The paint looks pretty good. It doesn't look that bad, but we got several places that are where it's been hit and it's gotten things kind of thrown out of alignment. One place we can see here on the bumper there under the tail light and just above the tail light there, that's going to have to be fixed. And the tailgate does not quite match up to the rest of the car. Now it does not leak or anything, it doesn't rattle, but it's going to need to be addressed. You can see really how it's kind of overlapping here. I'm going to see what I can do about that. And then took a little shot right here, and it's caused the bumper to crack right here. I've already priced those, they're about $170. I might go ahead and try to replace that and probably do the paint myself. We'll see how that goes. And down the side, just a couple minor dings, nothing major. And we get up to the front. I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but it does have a good bit of hail damage on it. And it's got this one ugly place here that I think goes all the way through into the, or almost all the way through. I do have some body repair tools, hammers, dollies, and things like that I've never used. So maybe that's something we can learn how to do together. The most concerning part is going to be this front bumper that's been hit. It looks like here, and it doesn't look like much, but what it's done is push the tail light out of true. So you can see all this. So this is going to need to come off, and I'm going to need to figure out exactly if anything needs to be replaced, or if I just can pull it out with like a come along or something like that. But the one thing about this that does gripe me is it pushed this plastic quarter panel back. This is metal here, but this is plastic. It's pushed that back into the door, and this is just a pet peeve of mine. Of any car I've ever seen do this, it pops every time you open the door. It's not damaging the door at all. The paint kind of took a little bit of discoloration right here, but I'm going to try and get that pulled forward coming up here. Okay, we're going to check out the interior of this car. Very austere, not much to it. Yeah, there's the pop. They do not put carpet in these things, and these seats are designed to be able to basically spray it off with a hose pipe or pressure sprayer. We're going to be doing some of that today. It does have the suicide doors. They originally had the seat belts on the right here on the back door for the front seat, but in this model year they switched over to putting them in the seat, and they do have the side airbags installed here. And again, as you can see, it doesn't have any carpet or anything like that. Just not much to what they did with these cars, but that was intentional. They wanted you to have a utility vehicle that you didn't mind getting dirty and that it would be easy to clean. Lots of plastic, lots of cubby holes. Pretty neat, I think. Show you the back seats. The back seats in this car are in pretty much excellent condition. I wouldn't say they have any kind of problems at all, just some minor discoloration. Now all the seats in these cars are designed to lay perfectly flat, so that way if you're out camping or whatever, you can put a I guess an air mattress on it or something. They're operated with these straps here. You just pull them Push the seat all the way down. Both seats do that. They also pull up sideways, and you latch them to the grab bars that are up here. So that's kind of pretty cool if you've got something that you need to haul, but you haven't taken the seats out. You can get them pretty much out of the way. I'll demonstrate that here in just a second. And how that works is you have this strap here that moves the headrest up and down, and then on the bottom, this strap here unlatches these seat latches, and then once it's up you can fold it down, and then it has this D-ring that attaches to that grab bar, and this is the part that attaches it on the other side. It has a little pull handle here, and it releases these, and you just pull it up. Of course, it's all folded. This is covered by a piece of plastic. It just pops off. It has like a little place that you pinch it. And the seats are not very heavy. I would say most adults are able to handle these without too much trouble at all. All right, with both of those seats out, you can see how much room you got back here. It's kind of like a small pickup truck, and that's going to be useful for me. It's got all kinds of little clips and things to strap things down. These are these covers for the seats. The mechanism that pulls it off. All it does is those go down, pops here. It's got like a little pinch thing there to pull it back off. And here we are from the back with the seats out. I used to own a Chevy S10 and older, 94, and I would say this is on par with that. It's not quite as wide, but I bet it's just as long, especially with the tailgate down. So this could really come in handy. I really like this a lot. Also, it makes it really easy to clean it out. I'm going to come in here with a pressure spray here in a minute, and well, actually I'm going to start with a leaf blower, blow everything out the back. It's got a lot of leaves and some straw and things stuck in it with the other owner had been hauling things with it. Get it all blown out the back, and then we're going to pressure spray the interior of it, get it cleaned up a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that are wrong with this that's going to need to be addressed immediately. All right, the first thing that's going to happen, I bought a new brakes and rotors for the front. They are almost non-existent at this point, so that's going to have to be taken care of. That popping fender over there is going to have to be taken care of. And also, when you drive this thing, it drives very, very smooth, steers straight, even at highway speeds. I don't have any issues with it, but at lower speeds and going over in bumps, there's a lot of racket coming from the rear suspension of this. I have some parts I've already ordered. In the next video we're going to be addressing that. You just have to wait and see what I've got. And to a lesser extent, the front end's a little bit noisy too, but not quite as bad. Okay, we're in the cockpit here. I'm going to fire it up and let you listen to it. And we'll talk about one more thing that's going to need to be addressed. You see, it fires right up. It runs really well. Originally, when I got it, it had the VSA, the brake system for the anti-lock was lit up on the column, but I plugged my Autel into it and reset it, and that went away and it has not come back. The TPMS light is on. It says the batteries are good in the tire sensors, but that there's a fault in the actual module, so I'll see if I can't track one of those down. Not a huge deal, but I just don't like looking at any lights on my dashboard. And of course, the check engine light. Now, when I first bought this car, the gentleman that had it sitting in a parking lot at a Target, and I guess he was having people come there and meet him. And I go out there, it's pouring down rain to take a look at it, and he goes to crank it, it's dead as a doornail. He says he left the back light on, and after he got it cranked up, I guess he wasn't expecting me to have an Autel with me. I plugged into the computer and checked everything, and it still had some relearning to do on the ignition and whatnot, but I didn't detect any faults at that time. After I drove it for a while, the check engine light came on. Checked it, P0420. That is for low catalyst, or your catalytic converter is not working properly. Now, when I looked that up on the internet, I found a service bulletin for this car for the catalytic converter. It says the PCM needs to be reprogrammed before you change the catalytic converter. That's something known in this model. So I called Honda. They want $111 to even plug into it. Who knows how much they were going to charge me to redo it. So I've got a hack coming up in the near future. I'm going to see if that might take care of it. You just have to wait and see. Just pop the hood, take a look up underneath there, see what you think. Okay, and like I said before, this is the K24, the 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder. This is the K24 A8, which is for, I think, the CRVs and the Elements. This is actually a CRV chassis that they built this on top of, if you did not know that. So this isn't the one that people are getting the turbocharging and running 9-second cars with, but it is a very solid engine. This one runs very smoothly. I've gone up underneath it, no oil leaks anywhere other than some weeping. It's nothing this has to be addressed immediately. Other than being a little bit dirty, car runs great. Another issue, I hear some whining coming from the transmission when it's in gear going at slow speeds, and it could be either something in the transmission is going bad, or there's a differential for the all-wheel drive that sends the power to the rear tires. There's a drive shaft actually, and I understand there's a bearing there that can go bad sometimes. So either A, we're going to learn how to rebuild a transmission together, or B, I'm going to show you how to replace that bearing. I haven't got that far along the diagnosing yet, but other than the check engine light for the catalytic converter, there's really no issues at all. Okay, that's pretty much going to wrap up the introduction for it. This engine is the reason I purchased this car mainly. Well, other than I think it's cool, I think I am going to probably end up keeping this thing and use it for hauling stuff from Lowe's and things like that. I'm going to put a trailer hitch on it so I can pull a small trailer, although the towing capacity on these is only 1,500 pounds. Don't ask me why. It's probably got something to do with the transmission. But the car runs as good as it does. It's almost a shame to tear that down. But the K24 is one of the most common Honda 4-cylinder engines for this vintage of car. So I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that have one that needs a new head gasket, different kinds of repairs on it. So that's why I bought this. So at some point I am going to be pulling this out. We're going to get it torn down, and just like you guys that watch for the Honda Accord, I'm going to do a repair and rebuild overhaul series on the K24. Hope you guys look forward to that and can enjoy it. Now I will leave you with some car cleaning porn. One of my favorite things to watch is a Bissell sucking dirt up out of a seat. See if you guys like it. Here we go.